so goddamn rich. I think it's time to blow this thing. Get everybody stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Getting fucking rich.
What's up, my friends? What's going on, Buzz? Hey, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, cheers.
Griffin, I want my fucking money.
See how much I lag.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Assuming we're live on YouTube, even though I can't see it myself.
Holy shit, we're gonna be so fucking rich.
Yeah, and of course there's two of them fucking going right now. Surprise, surprise. Edit this video and shut it down.
Damn it, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Griffin, I want my fucking money.
You're an original,
Hey,
aren't you?
yelling, give me the fucking money. Get the goddamn money printer out.
Yo, what's up, my friends? Let me get that chat box out of the way, too.
We're gonna be so fucking rich. Get the goddamn money printer out.
Get the fucking money printer out. Come on, Jay Powell. We know you're going to have to bail out the banks again. You see the way these shorts are acting in this court case, you guys? That's a fucking joke, isn't it? It's hilarious. If you haven't seen anything about the court case yet, we're going to just be hanging out, talking about Diablo 4, my new Druid build that I haven't really seen any YouTubers talk about yet. At least not the way that I've got it set up. And AMC's recent court case developments from today. It was a fun day. What's it, horror? Cheers from Oz. Love it, my friend. Thanks for being here with us. I'm going to close this out. I don't need an extra video going at the same time. Let's get queued up and see. Let's see if my computer can even handle it. It's not exactly geared to take this much stress all at once. So we're going to find out real soon. Broke Ape says, I heard it was Fanny Pack Cores who pulled the fire alarm. In case you guys are unaware, during the AMC court case today, the settlement hearing, somebody within the first 10 minutes of the court being in session pulled the fire alarm. Holy shit. Can you say desperation? That's fucking hilarious. I thought that was really comical. Go into my settings. Turn the master volume up just a little bit, so I can hear what's going on in game. Funny thing is, somehow the first character I pulled up was that was a Druid, and the guy somehow looks a lot like me. He's got the full beard going, hairy chest and all. So I decided I'm gonna play the Druid. Oh yeah, can you guys believe that shit? Somebody actually pulled the fucking fire alarm. Way too much shit in my stash. I'm just going to dump some of this. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of all this. I don't need any of this stuff right now. Before I get to that, though, here's the Druid build I've got going on. Let me just explain it quickly. So the build I've got going on is similar to some other pulverized builds, but I feel like it's also very different in the way that I've got it set up. What's up, Cash Money? Let's get Cash Money in the party right here real quick. I'm fucking hanging out with Steven Seagal and Cash Money. That's perfect. So I'm using Storm Strike. And the reason being because I've got a shapeshifter heal where every time I shapeshift between human and another shapeshifter, such as Werewolf or Werebear, it provides me a heal. So I've got Storm Strike going on. It gives damage reduction for 3 seconds, Enhanced Storm Strike, and Wild Storm Strike with only 1 point in the basic skill. Then we've got a the next step here. We've got a Pulverize, got 5 points in Pulverize with 4 points of item contribution, Enhanced Pulverize, and Primal as well to deal 20% to get 20% reduced damage for 4 seconds every time I hit an enemy with Pulverize, and it overpowers every 12 seconds. I don't have a single defensive skill on right now. I got Poison Creeper with 5 points into the ranks and 4 with item contribution. Enhanced Poison Creeper for increasing the immobilized duration, and Ferocious Poison Creeper. It's an active poisoning duration increased by 3 seconds. I'm also using Ravens because I've got 5 points in it, 4 points in it, and then 4 additional through item contribution. I've noticed this to be a lot more beneficial and does a lot more damage than, say, Hurricane or other like Earthen Bulwark. I don't really need it with the setup that I've got. I've also got 5% increased critical strike chance for 6 seconds after hitting enemies, and then 2 additional Ravens attack, which increases the active damage here by 200%. Then I'm also using Trample, which has 5 points in it and 1 through item contribution. Enhanced Trample deals 150% bonus damage, and then bonus reduced for each enemy after first hit, and then Casting Trample grants 20 Spirit. Forgot to mention, I've also got Call of the Wild, because then the companion skills deal 30% bonus damage through Poison Creeper and Ravens. In addition, we've got Neurotoxin. Poison enemies are slowed by 8% just to be able to get to Envenom, which poisoned enemies take 30% additional critical strike damage. So Poison Creeper poisons for 6 seconds and immobilizes for 3 seconds as well. And then on top of that, they get an additional 30% critical strike damage and 30% companion skill bonus damages on both of these. I've also got Cataclysm set up as my ultimate with the only 2 available here. And then Quick Shift, which when shapeshifting skill transforms you into a different form, deals 15% increased damage, 2 points into Natural Fortitude, increasing Fortify by 3% of base life, and then Heightened Senses, which does damage reduction increase of 8%, and lastly, Ursine Strength, while healthy, deal 30% increased damage, and gain 20% additional max life in Werebear form or 3 seconds after leaving. For skills, I've got Shapeshifting skill that changes your form, gains 79 life. I've got a couple other aspects. I've got another aspect that increases that to 150 life every time I shapeshift, but I don't want to waste it on this Sacred Legendary. Imprint this Boneweave Armor of the Crowded Sage and a Sacred Legendary chest. Heals for 48 life per second for each close enemy, up to 194 per second. Adventures, Gloves of the Ursine Horror, imprinted with Pulverize, is now also an Earth skill. After casting Pulverize, Tectonic Spikes continue to deal 408. 408 additional damage. Join the party here real quick inside the dungeon, and then I'll continue with the build. Just because I know some of you guys are pretty hardcore gamers, so I might as well explain it before I get into the party here. I don't know what these guys are doing. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they're doing some like level 30 or tier 36. Yep, probably some crazy tier 36, level 84 bullshit over here. It's on world tier 4. My little one's out there screaming, but she can go to bed. So anyway, Pulverize imprint also sends out tectonic spikes, dealing 408 damage over 2 seconds. This also has +4 ranks of Pulverize on it and +15 all stats. The gloves that I'm using are, sorry, the pants that I'm using here increase maximum life, +20 all stats, 36 willpower, and also has a heal for 30 life per second. But it looks like it's doubled up here with this one, so I can actually switch that out for something else. And you guys will see that even though that's the case, it's still not even bothering me. This tank build is extremely survivable, let's put it that way. Can survive pretty much anything over here without too much damage. It does a lot of self-heal. I don't know how the hell I got here by myself, but here we are. And these mobs are, I think, 20-something levels above me. I'm not sure what level we're at exactly here. Do a quick heal. See where the guys are at. I'll just run and catch up with them. We got Sabtu over here, that's Cash Money, and Steven Seagal hanging out with us at the same time. The court case went pretty well, you guys. Let's just put it this way. The people that were speaking at the court case, I have a pretty good feeling that they were paid to speak. Let's put it that way. Chase, Cash Money just fucking melting things over here. The boots actually increase Fortify. When fortified, your Earth skills gain 2 ranks. I don't even use it. That's how kind of OP this build is the way that it currently is. And then the weapons got Pulverize, creates a shockwave that travels forward, dealing 152% damage on the target path. So between the Tectonic Spikes dealing 408, the weapon, and then the Pulverize shockwave, it does quite a good amount of damage. Then the rubies do extra 48% overpower damage multiplied by 2 because it's a two-handed weapon as well. Got Mother's Embrace, unique ring. If core skill hits 5 or more enemies, 40% of the resource cost is refunded. Deal 9.5% increased damage for legendary ring. I like this one because it's got a lot of crowd control, physical damage, damage to distant enemies, and 9.5% increased damage for each second you stand still, up to 30%. And then the amulet's got, while not healthy, a magical bubble is summoned around you for 6 seconds. While standing in the bubble, players are immune, and it occurs every 90 seconds. I know some of my guys here aren't too fond of it, but I don't mind having to wait 90 seconds because it really does come in handy when that thing procs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What was that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I didn't think so.
Is this not Nightmare?
You gonna join in?
I don't see a level. Yeah, I'm here.
You can hop in if you want to. Oh, you're in there already. That's Lego Pickle Snake hanging out with us too over here. Living Dead Girl. Might as well catch up to the rest of the party. Son Goku says, I've been here since day 1. I remember when there was only 200 people watching. Sincere question, why are you streaming video games? Because I've been playing Diablo 4 for a long time. I've been playing Diablo 2 since I was in high school. And recently, I decided to multitask. I don't feel like doing a video just based off of the court case alone. So I figured I'd just stream Diablo 4 for all the gamers that are interested in. Yeah, why not? That's a good question, you know, because it's fun. I work hard and I like to play games to pass the time. Might as well do that. It's just a little laggy. You were just melting these guys down. Got multiple druids. So we got a necromancer, a sorcerer, and 2 druids, including myself. Yeah, there's this guy, John Barton, who claims to be a fan of the channel. But with the way he was talking today, I really don't understand. Oh, here's the Blood Bishop. Let's see if we can take him down. No problem. And he's dead. So much for an elite. We got a ring here. That's pretty sweet. Got a unique. Actually, it's not a unique. It's a sacred ring. Get rid of this blue garbage. Matter of fact, get rid of these fucking gems too. Looks like they're gonna start another one.
Yeah,
Jefferson.
fire alarm. That's some high school BS.
What's that?
Pulling
Oh.
fire alarms.
Yeah, they pulled the fire alarm in the first 10 minutes. And then, well, John Barton gave a speech, very long-winded, and continued to state over and over again that he was in the military. And he also stated that the reverse split will drop the number of shares that he has by 90%. But either out of ignorance or out of paid shillery, didn't mention that the value of his shares would also increase by 90%. This guy also gave his whole life story and admitted that he was a paid Washington lobbyist on Capitol Hill for many years. Now, why in the hell would a guy... I'm clicking accept. We need one more. There we go. Why would a guy that's a lobbyist, paid lobbyist, working on Capitol Hill in the White House, be objecting in court and twisting his words, saying, trying to pretend to be an ape by talking about market manipulation, and then stating so many falsehoods about AMC and acting as if he's speaking for AMC investors? I can tell you that guy did not speak for me or the other 87% of retail investors that voted for the conversion and reverse split. Jefferson says he played the D2 remake a few months back. The Necro build was fun. That's awesome. Yeah, Broke Ape says, damn, he had to be the first villain. That looked easy. That was actually the last villain in a tier 32 dungeon, which means that
It wasn't a nightmare dungeon, though.
it wasn't a nightmare. It was a regular
It was
standard
just a
dungeon.
regular.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
That's why it was so easy.
Okay, I was like, that was way
This
too
is a
fucking
32.
easy. Yeah, this is a tier 4 torment. Not tier 4 dungeon, but a tier 4 build. See, now that's better. There we go. That's much more like it. Spawn right into getting murdered. Now you know we're in a tier 32 dungeon. Tier 32 nightmare dungeon. I'm gonna wait here patiently. Ernest says,
Some lag.
it sounds like there's no merit to this case at all. It sounds like zero evidence is not even present for this case. The judge was pissed, guys. The judge was pissed. He could not care less about what these guys had to say. Was shutting down the attorney left and right and listened intently to what these guys were saying, but in reality did not care whatsoever. Did not care whatsoever about what they had to say, mainly because it was a bunch of nonsense. She thanked the guys like John Barton for providing the information that they did. She did not do anything to help them out. Guys, what the fuck? We're doing a tier 32 in tier 32 Nightmare Dungeon in Torment. These things are like 30 levels above me. Alright, I'm not gonna leave this one via revive. I'm gonna wait for them to get me up. I'll leave the party and I'll go do a regular tier 20 or something like that Nightmare Dungeon so that people can actually see what the build can do, because doing a tier 32 in Torment as a level 65 Druid puts the mobs around level 80, 87. You guys are nuts. But they're level 76, 75, and 73, so they're about 10 levels above me.
That's what we were doing yesterday. In fact, we did higher yesterday.
Oh yeah, I know. But I can't show
Focus.
anybody what the class can actually do on something that's 30 levels above me.
Well, let's get through this one. We'll do a lower one. I don't have any keys that are lower.
I'm gonna drop out. We were farming the ancestral gear yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Let's leave the party here. We'll start up a higher one here. Here's a tier 17. Let's start that one up. Teleport straight over to the dungeon. The new updates to Diablo 4 have been pretty great. You can teleport straight to the outside of the dungeon. Ernest asks, do you think it'll take 90 days for the judge to decide the outcome? The way things are going, it's really childish and a waste of time for everyone, including the judge. No, I don't. Honestly, the way the judge was talking today as I was listening to the call, I could have sworn she was ready to fucking dismiss the case with prejudice right there on the spot. She was not having their bullshit at all. At all. Yes, Nathan asks, was today just arguments from people that don't want the reverse split? Yeah, it was attorneys for the people suing AMC, and they did a terrible fucking job. They looked really bad out there, to be honest with you. Oops, I just left the dungeon, so I wasn't paying attention. They did a terrible job in putting up their case out there. The judge was literally bringing them back off their tangents and saying, okay, but what does that have to do with this? What merit does that have? Why do you keep going off the subject? Let's talk about this. And over and over and over again. It was a fucking joke, you guys. I literally feel like I lost brain cells because of how bad and how stupid the judges, sorry, not the judge, how stupid the people that were against the AMC reverse split sounded. Those people do not represent me whatsoever. They do not represent the people in AMC as far as I'm concerned. So I really wish that the judge would just shut it down right now. This is a tier 17 world tier 3 nightmare dungeon with level 65 Druid. It works really well when you get a nice group of mobs, because there's an increase to the build that gives you heals for every player, every NPC that's around you. And one of the one of the setups here is that killing a monster releases a deadly lightning pulse. Monsters attack 20% faster, and they attack from a distance, reduced dodge. Monster attacks from a distance, reduced dodge chance by 10% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 50%. Need a key to open this door. Gotta slay all the enemies in the halls of assembly. Pretty easy, standard shit. So you just literally ran over that guy with a trample for 25,000 damage, and he's dead. It was just, it's that easy when you get started. But the first step is pretty much poison creeper, drop one of those, and then trample all the way across, pulverize all the way across. Leaves just a couple left. Trample them over, and they're done for. The poison creeper, set up the way that it is, kills a shitload of monsters. This is the first time I'm actually using Cataclysm here on this dungeon. And you can see it does a good amount of damage by itself. Ernest asks, what are your thoughts? on AMC being back on the threshold list. Oh yeah, AMC is back on the threshold securities list yet again. There's been 4 days in a row now that AMC is back on this list. And this keeps happening. They keep going on the list and then getting off, and going on the list and then being taken off. The reason being, in my humble opinion, there's the bubble proc, which makes you invulnerable for 6 seconds. Because there's a broker-dealer shell game, you could say. And these broker-dealers are passing these FTDs in between themselves from one to the other. So after so many days of failing to deliver, on AMC stock and being on the threshold securities list, before they get to those oh so tantalizing 13 days or whatever it is before the stock can no longer be shorted, they will do the same thing they did the last several times. Transfer over those short positions to another broker-dealer, probably overseas, and then back overseas, and so on. And that brings it off the reg show threshold securities list. Got rock shot here. Level 70 elites, teleporter with shadow enchant, suppressor also. Really, absolutely, look at the health bar. It might take a little longer to kill than some other things, but it's really tanky. It can withstand a lot of damage as well. Jason Scott asks, is there an expectation that the reverse split will cause the MOAS? My friend, I don't have any expectation that a reverse split would cause a short squeeze. However, it will increase the cost to borrow when there's 10 times fewer shares. And it will also create a situation where AMC is able to issue shares on the open market like they did in January of 2021 and June of 2021, that could potentially cause a massive price run-up like it did then. Remember in January when AMC issued shares, the price ran up like 1,500%, 1,500%? And then in June, in May, when they started issuing shares, the price started running up from $10, and all the way to June, it ran up to $79 in intraday trading. And when that occurred, it kept going up. The only time it started going down was when AMC was finished. When AMC finished selling shares and was no longer selling shares, that's when the price of AMC started to get shorted down from $79, lower and lower and lower, to its current state. We can do this event just for kicks. So the reverse split I don't think will ever have anything to do with causing MOAS. Check it out, I'm standing in a poison puddle, just taking damage, and the character just is constantly healing himself through the use of the monsters around him and the attacks from shapeshifting from human. I can't even carry that shit. Yeah, I don't think it's really realistic to expect a reverse split to cause a MOAS, but the selling of shares by AMC, because short hedge funds need those shares, and since retail isn't selling them, which is obvious due to the OBV, the on-balance volume, has been extremely elevated since January of 2021, and there are still 3.8 million American retail shareholders, not including Europeans and Canadians and Asians and Middle Eastern and South Americans and Central Americans, etc. Well, that leaves a situation in which the shorts are pretty much fucked. Because they were really hoping that people would sell their shares. I'm going to go sell my stuff real quick in town. And people haven't sold their shares. At least, I'm sure some people did, right? I can't speak for everybody. But the OBV is extremely, extremely high on the stock because the majority of people have held their shares. That's how previously there was almost 4 million shareholders 2 years ago, and now there's still almost 4 million shareholders. And again, that doesn't include all the people in the rest of the world. That's only in the United States of America. That is a fact that was proven in this court case. That really backfired on the shorts, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Because they didn't want us to know just how badly
I'll take it.
leveraged that they were. I heard in the court case today, somebody said one of the institutions said that they have 1,000 shares of AMC and a $52 million short position.
Good. What else you got?
And they're opposing the conversion of the reverse split. Now, why in the world would shorts with a $52 million short position be opposing the reverse split? That is solid. Damaging an elite enemy grants you a barrier absorbing 2,300 damage for 10 seconds. Proc every 30 seconds. I'm keeping that one. And the rest of these I can break down. And if it's true that they only have... Truly, what do you think is going to happen? My whole fucking rig is just stuck right now. No, we're back. All right. What do you think is going to happen to that short position worth $52 million if AMC starts to issue shares and dilute? I got to close out some of these other tabs. I got a shitload of windows open that I don't really need. So let me just close them out real quick. I'm wasting all my RAM. And I closed out the wrong one, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. I can still hop right back in. Feek says they didn't think we would stay interested this long. Not in a million years. My friend, it's all about conviction. You know, my conviction does not get swayed by a long period of time. The stock market is a complete farce. What we're looking at right now and what is being called by mainstream media a bull run is nothing but. It may be a bull run, but it sure as hell isn't a bull market. It's a bull run and a bear market. The economy in the United States is in absolute shambles. The global economy is in absolute shambles. Interest rate hikes are going to continue in July from the Fed. I can almost guarantee that. And then again after that, they're going to continue even further if something doesn't prove that it's broken by then. Which things are already broken, evidenced by the reverse repurchase program. The RRP is elevated. It's over $2 trillion a day. The RRP is an overnight bailout that is the federal funds rate on top of an additional 0.05% interest rate that is given to these banking institutions, shadow banks, mutual funds, money market funds. Excuse me, not mutual funds, money market funds. So to think that shorts expected people to sell off, that's their only option. They don't have another option. They can't just up and close their positions, because if they did, it would bankrupt their entire company. It exceeds the entire margin capitalization of their company, market capitalization of their entire company. So a margin call or even closing of their short positions on AMC would be astronomical for them. Look at what happened with Archegos. Archegos had short positions on GameStop and AMC, and they collapsed. And now those legacy issues have transferred over to Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse collapsed, and now those legacy issues have transferred over to UBS. UBS, in order to take over Credit Suisse's books, demanded and received a $9 billion guarantee from the federal government of Switzerland, I believe it was, that after UBS loses $5 billion in legacy costs on the over-leveraged books by Credit Suisse, the Swiss government would step in and bail them out for $9 billion additional. Why would they do that? Since we left, we probably got kicked out of that dungeon. Let's see if my portal's gone. Yep, it is. which is not really a big deal. I'll just pop another one. We'll do Witchwater Nightmare Sigil as a tier 16 Witchwater. Mike says we're going to be so fucking rich. Mike, you're a very smart man, my friend. A very smart man. Brett Montgomery brings up a great point. He asks, won't the upcoming change to SOFR eliminate the reverse repo market? Well, not really. You see, currently LIBOR is being shut down and SOFR is being implemented. I think that's occurring in July, the beginning of July. So LIBOR no longer being used and everything transferring over to SOFR reduces a lot of the fuckery that occurs for lack of spending more time on the subject in the financial markets. Oh, that's running a lot more smoothly now that I closed out all those windows. So yeah, that's definitely not a good thing for banks. The Federal Reserve ran a stress test and claims that banks seem well capitalized. However, Janet Yellen has already told us that commercial mortgages, commercial real estate backed mortgages, are in very bad shape and expects further outflows and reductions in their value. And what happens in commercial real estate bleeds over into the residential real estate market. So for people to think that this market will be any different than what happened in 2008, they're partially correct in that it will be different. It'll be much, much worse. And in case though you guys didn't know, just to fill you in, real estate prices are down, both residential and commercial, for the last overall, not one city, not one state, overall, for the last 21 months in a row. 21 months. This has not happened since 2008. But as you know, the Fed continues to say, it's different this time. Why? Why is it different? It's not different at all. It's just worse. That's the only way that it's different. It's worse.
Wouldn't have made it without you.
All right. Poison Creeper, Ravens, Cataclysm, Ground and Pound. Cataclysm didn't even pop off. These things just melted away. And Sent was wondering if you should get Diablo 4. Well, let's put it this way. I played Diablo 2 in high school and throughout.
Wouldn't have made it
And it's been about 20 years since then. And I am extremely happy with the way Diablo 4 has turned out. It's not a perfect game by any means, but Blizzard is actually doing a great job at updating it. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy. It's pretty true to the original, with a lot of positive changes. They recently went in and buffed all of the classes and the XP by 80% for all Nightmare dungeons, such as this one. This is a Nightmare, Tier 3 Nightmare dungeon that is actually a Tier 16 Nightmare Sigil. For those of you guys that understand what I'm talking about, that means the mobs are level 69 to my level 65. You only need to be 3 levels up to get the maximum 30% increase in XP. This is an elite. Just spitting poison everywhere. Alex says he's buying $10,000 worth of ape tomorrow morning. You are a fucking gangster, my friend. I like you. Props to you, Alex. Best of luck, my friend. I hope you make big bank on it, that's for sure. I plan to buy more ape really soon. I'm currently holding tens of thousands of shares of AMC and APE. I'm holding over somewhere around 1,000 plus contracts of AMC/AMC1. I have both because I plan to exercise a significant portion of my AMC and AMC1 after making ridiculous amounts of money on the premium. The judge has up to 90 days to make a ruling on the court case itself, but I really, really don't think that it's going to take her 90 days to decide. These guys that are in the court case are absolute clowns. Clowns. The guys that are speaking, the attorneys, I'm going to die. Yep, there we go. Good thing I've got more revives left. As you guys saw there, it got frozen repeatedly. I could not move. But it's absolutely hilarious what's happening in this court case. I think she's really pissed off. Chancellor Zern, the judge in the case, has been extremely receptive to what people have been saying, but I think she understands very well that these people are pulling her leg. She is not stupid at all. She's a very bright person, very bright individual who really understands securities laws. Got 3 elites right here. There we go. So I think Chancellor Zern is really going to make a quick decision. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor, so you shouldn't take it as such. And you sure as shit shouldn't be making any stupid bets on short-dated options unless you want to spend your money or lose your money. I mean, you might make a shitload of money, you might lose a shitload of money. That's your call. But I have a lot of leaps that extend really far out, and I feel very comfortable with that. I definitely personally wouldn't buy any short-dated options contracts. Turn that down a little bit. Whoops. I was not paying attention. Just turning down the volume on Diablo here. Let's double back and pick up any gold and shit that was left behind. Yeah, the court case was confusing because they were talking in circles. The attorneys against AMC that were talking to Chancellor Zern were literally speaking nonsense. They had no merit in what they were saying. It was all like he said, she said type things, and they kept making assumptions as to what retail investors wanted. Like, these fucks don't speak for me. Nothing that they said stands for what I believe in any way. And I think the judge knows that because 87% of retail investors voted for the conversion and reverse split. Ernest asks, can you remind us of the reverse split, how many shares of APE will convert? It's a 1-to-1, my friend. So if you have 1,000 shares of APE, then that will turn into 1,000 shares of AMC during the conversion. And then the reverse split will be 1-to-10. So if after the conversion you've got, for example, this is bad, a situation I'm in right now. If after the conversion reverse split, say you've got 20,000 shares, then it would be 1-to-10. So that would be leaving you with 2,000 shares. Say if you've got 1,000 shares worth $5 a share, after the conversion reverse split, you would have 100 shares worth $50 a share. Now that would only be for a split second because the value on the stock market changes constantly. So as soon as the market opens, it would go up or down within a microcosm of a second as the next best bid and offer changes. So after the conversion to reverse split, the price will increase 10 times after the 1-to-10 reverse split occurs. Turn that shit off. Gotta go that way and destroy that ward eye. The value of the shares would increase 10 times, you know, basically about 1,000% or so. and then the value would change as soon as the market's open. You know, it's just the way that the markets work. If the market's open, the value of stocks are changing. As currently today, the maximum cost to borrow on Ortex data for AMC, which is 85% of self-reported data, was over 1,000%. Now, for those of you that don't know, the cost to borrow over 20% is considered to be very high. The cost to borrow over 50% is considered to be astronomical. A cost to borrow of 1,000%? Imagine if your mortgage went from 4% APR to 1,000% APR. You know, even if it's just a daily, you know, for those 30 days, how much would your mortgage be for that 1 month? You know, if your mortgage was $2,000 at 4% APR, what would it be when the APR went up to 1,000%? You know, like say on your mortgage, you're paying a portion of taxes. Probably more than half is going, depending on the amortization of your mortgage, more than half is going towards the actual interest alone, and then a small percentage is only going towards your equity of your home. So you'd pay a few $100s in equity towards your equity, and then you'd be paying freaking 50 grand for your mortgage just towards the interest. That's pretty much what's going on with the shorts with a 1,000% cost to borrow. That is huge, you guys, like massive. And the average cost to borrow today was at 909% throughout the day, although it was over 1,000 at one point. Which I find to be extremely comical. Aaron says the price of our holdings won't change. It's difference in bookkeeping. Basically, my friend, you know, like I said, if you have 1,000 shares right now at $5, it'll become 100 shares worth $50. It doesn't matter to me if my $100 bill is in singles or is in one single $100 bill. That means nothing to me. Or if I got 10 10s or 5 20s or 2 50s, it still costs me $100 and it's worth $100. So it doesn't really matter if there's a reverse split in that case. People are saying that, some people, ignorant people, are saying that I'll lose. This is the Nightmare Dungeon boss, by the way, level 69. As you can see, this is quite a cakewalk. The reality is that people are saying, well, I would need, you know, I was expecting to make this much money when AMC ran to $100,000 a share. Like, listen, guy, what makes you think that AMC would run to $100,000 a share when they're in a position that if they don't pay off their debt in the next year, like 2 years, they could potentially go bankrupt? And if they dilute and issue shares on the open market, they could pay off all their debts, destroy the short thesis, and force shorts to cover by reducing the profitability of shorting. Like, it's common sense, you know, it's straight business. It's straight business. You remove the debt, you remove the short's ability to continue shorting, and you increase the cost to borrow that's coming from all the other brokers. Then there are 10 times fewer shares, and on top of the 10 times fewer shares, it'll make it 10 times harder to find share locates. And it'll potentially increase the volatility 10 times, because we go from 1.4 billion shares of AMC and APE to 140 million shares of them combined. It's a no-brainer in my opinion. Yeah, Aaron Henney, cost to borrow is crazy high, and AMC is on the threshold list once again. I'm using the exploit glyph, of course. For every 5 dexterity purchased within rage, deals 2.6% increased damage to vulnerable targets. And when an enemy is damaged by you, they become vulnerable for 3 seconds. Almost got that to level 15. Here's the Paragon board set up I'm working on. I've got a few here. Pretty much working my way up. Got the Prime Rare node for damage. Resolve for willpower. And Impel for damage and willpower. Grizzly for damage in Weirbear form and plus 10 willpower. Fang and Claw as the new glyph that I'm still going to start working on. Then survival instincts, legendary node, dealing 1% increased damage up to 50% for every 1% difference in current life between you and the enemy. And bulwark, 8% damage reduction while fortified and increased fortified generation. But I know we've got some points. We've got 7 available points. And I actually want, that would be enough to get me the willpower I need here. So let's grab that real quick. Currently at 20 out of 40. Might be enough. Grab that one. That one. We've got 30 out of 40. I can take a point out of this one, which is armor, which is fine though. Willpower here. And I need 5 more points just to finish that off. Well, where is it actually? It's got to be there. It's this guy. There it is. It's out of range though, which is pretty interesting that it's out of range. So I need 35 out of 40 here, and I don't think I'm able to grab it right now. I don't have enough willpower for that one, so I could sneak something else in there that doesn't take 40 willpower. Let's see what else we're going to use real quick. Just going to leave it as is for now. Pick this damage back up. Increase damage. And that's the dungeon. It was pretty quick and easy. Wasn't even really paying attention for the most part. Got the glyph leveled up and got a good amount of gear. Let me show you that here. Behind my face for those that want to see it. Because my face is not important, honestly. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 sacred, 4 legendaries. 2 of them are sacred. Got a bunch more rares and a few blues here. So I am gonna rip this off, this face mask, and run another dungeon real quick just for kicks. But the RRP, for those of you guys that were asking, the reverse repurchase program is under $2 trillion a day for the first time since guess what date? June 3rd of 2022. Yep, you heard, June 3rd, the date of the executive order. That was the last time that the RRP was under $2 trillion. It was elevated over $2 trillion, and then June 3rd came along, ate up a bunch of liquidity. We had a run up in May of 2022, up to $35 or so, in which my opinion was a lot of shorts transferring their positions and changing out swaps that were reliant on those Chinese collateral. And then June 3rd came along and the RRP dropped for the first time in many months under $2 trillion. And then since June 3rd and the days after, it elevated over $2 trillion again and has continued to be well over $2 trillion per day in the RRP overnight federal government bailout. And that's our taxpayer money at work, you guys. That's our taxpayer dollars right there.
I can break that down.
That are being used against us. Because we're the ones that have to pay. I'm going to keep that for sure. Get rid of this one. We're the ones that have to pay for inflation. Even though a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, give it over.
Inflation is a hidden tax on the people. It allows the bank,
That's a deal.
and the central bank, which is not a federal government entity, to actually reduce their liabilities and pay off the debts more easily.
There's something out there killing us and no one will do anything.
Pantheon, or Adam Franks is asking Pantheon some questions. I'm always interested in hearing what you got to say, Pantheon. That is always cool. Little trick for you Diablo players. You may or may not know this. Let's see if it still works. You know what? I would have to do this
Another happy
at
customer.
the blacksmith. So let me do that at the blacksmith. If you increase in items, if you upgrade an item at the blacksmith, the imprint also, the imprinted aspect also increases in level. And then you can extract it and put it on another item. Because if you take it off as is and put it on another item, it does not actually go up. So currently it's at 2354. You see here the blue letters. And when I upgrade it, it'll go up to 2448. And that only costs 10 rawhide. Then when I do it again, for the second time, it'll stay at 2448. And then the third time, it'll go up here, as you can see, 2546. It's pretty cheap. This fourth time, it will stay at 2546. And then the fifth time, it'll go up to 2647. So it costs Forgotten Souls, Coiling Wards, Veiled Crystals, Superior Leather, and Rawhide, but I've got plenty. And I expect to use that, so I will upgrade that, extract that at the Occultist, and I'll use that aspect on Ancestral Legendary items once I find the one that I want. So here is the extraction, and you can see now it's 2647 for the barrier for 10 seconds. Instead of lasting 6 seconds like the barrier I currently have, because I upgraded it, has more barrier absorbing damage, and it also went up to 10 seconds, which is pretty sweet. Also plan to keep this one. Trample now summons 6 landslide pillars of earth during its duration that deal 80% normal damage. Trample is now also a nature magic and earth skill. That's fucking fabulous, actually. And as you can see, it's got the 80% crit, the rating at 80%, which is the highest it could be. The range is between 70 and 80. So I am definitely going to be taking that off. I don't think there's a point in upgrading this one because I don't think it'll go up if I do upgrade it. It actually wouldn't let me at the blacksmith, but let me try at the armor, at the jeweler. As a matter of fact, I think that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. I'm right next to the fucking bitch. Here it is. Let's see. So it's 80%, 80%, 80%, 80%. There you go, guys. So I wasted some money on it. But as you can see, it's really does not upgrade on rings, but it does upgrade on armor, which is pretty sweet. I'm not sure if that's broken or not. This ring itself is pretty phenomenal. I might switch them out right now. It's got more legendary power, higher resistances, damage to close enemies, vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, and damage to slowed enemies. So as a matter of fact, I am going to switch it out for the one I currently have. And this one does 9.5% increased damage for each second you stand still, up to 30%. So I'm going to save this ring and see if I can pull this imprint, this aspect off of it as well. Jefferson went from 200 ape to around 2,000. Wow, man, you really, those shorts really fucked up by letting you buy more ape, huh? You had 200 ape and now you got 2,000. I don't think that looks really good for the shorts at all. I think they're absolutely scared out of their wits. That's why they're trying to delay everything by this 90-day. The guy, John Barton, that was talking, he said 5 different times, Judge, I urge you to please take the full 90 days to decide. I urge you to take your full 90-day time allotment to decide. The judge doesn't need 90 days to decide on this bullshit. There's no fucking need for it. But you can see that they're pushing really hard for that to happen. Those guys are absolutely desperate. Alright, let's see if we got another Nightmare Dungeon over here. A different, let's do Sheaf to Ruins, tier 15. And the elites have Electric Lance, do 20% more damage, all monsters. It's pretty sweet. Adam Franks, Marcel, will I be forced to close or execute January 2024 AMC 1 calls? AMC 1, for those of you that don't know, is the derivatives basket that is the actual value of AMC and APE. AMC stock by itself is not the real value of AMC. AMC's stock price is AMC plus APE, which equals AMC 1. And that is indicated via AMC 1 options contracts, for which, if you exercise, you receive 100 shares of the underlying assets, which they're special. They're not like standard contracts where you only get 100 shares. For AMC 1 contracts, if you were to exercise them, you would get 100 shares of AMC plus 100 shares of APE. Now, it is likely that they'll go position close only on those AMC 1 options contracts after the conversion or reverse split, because APE will cease to exist as it will get rolled into, converted, and reverse split into APE. But it is still likely that hedge funds and market makers that are short and need shares will buy them from you in order to be able to exercise them. And it is, again, this is not financial advice. This is just my theoretically speaking. It is likely that short hedge funds and market makers will need to buy them from you or from me in order to exercise them to receive those shares. And just like people, like they went position close only on the stocks on January 28th, 2021, that's the same thing that's going to happen to AMC 1 contracts. We all heard Thomas Peterfy say that if the stocks would have continued to go up on January 28th, that if retail would have exercised their call contracts, we would have been forced to give them their shares, even though they couldn't buy any because everything was PCO. And that would have caused the short squeeze that everyone was looking for. He told us flat out, flat and simple, my friend. So I have AMC plus I also have AMC 1 call contracts, and that I use that as an opportunity to sell some of both. I can sell some AMC and some AMC 1 call contracts. That way I've got a little bit more of a hedge going in case there's a lack of liquidity on some contracts. I've got a multitude of contracts available to me to be able to sell some for premium and to be able to exercise some AMCs for 100 shares of AMC shares for the contracts there, and also to exercise for 100 shares AMC and 100 shares APE on the AMC 1 call contracts. So I'm very much looking forward to shoving my gamma right up the short's fucking ass. And I bet you, no, I take that back. I shouldn't say it like that. I wouldn't be surprised to hear if it didn't take anywhere near 90 days for the judge to decide. That modifier from that ring is absolutely sick. It increases trample now summons 6 landslide pillars of earth during the duration, dealing 80% normal damage. Check that out. That is so fucking sick. I'm so glad I found that one. That's what I love about this game. You find things when you least expect. I haven't found a new piece of armor at level 65 that works for me in about 9 levels now. And you can see Poison Creeper by itself does massive damage. We'll find some mobs and I'll show you guys on that one. Anna Frank says, thank you, that is my thought as well. Just wondering if we were on the same page. Yeah, here's Poison Creeper by itself. I don't even have to touch these guys. They just melt away from the poison damage. Yeah, my friend. It's always good to be... You know, I've got an advanced strategy going on here because I'm not worried about having to sell my shares. That's not a concern to me. I don't have to sell my shares at any time. I'm not in a cash crunch whatsoever, and I'm not over leveraged. So I don't care if I have to hold my AMC shares to hedge against, for long term, to hedge against my call contracts. I don't have to take the opposite side of the trade because I don't care if the stock price goes down in the short term. In the long term, I know what I hold. I know what I fucking hold. And I don't care if AMC's at $4.50 right now. I don't care if APE is at $1.70 for right now. I know in the long term, what it means to me is that the stock is worth much, much more than that. And all I need to see is another situation where AMC where AMC stock price shoots up like it did in January and June of 2021, for whatever reason, whether it be gamma squeezing, FOMO buying, AMC's dilution of shares, shorts getting margin called, stock market crash, bond market crash, real estate market crash, whatever. There's 100 things that could happen. Liquidity drying up, because it is drying up. For those of you that didn't know, the central banks are literally sucking money out of the system, and there is nothing that the banks can do about it to stop it. They've got to deal with it. Any of those things, and even more, Evergrande collapsing in China could cause a massive real estate and commercial mortgage-backed security collapse that would destroy financial markets and stock markets and create margin calls and positions in blue chip stocks that would have to be sold off, leading to prevent margin calls on these stocks and so on. And broker dealers like Robinhood and Webull could get margin called by the DTCC for lacking capitalization and so on during these times of volatility. There's so many different ways that the mother of all short squeezes could actually occur, that for anyone to try to say it's going to happen like this, it's going to happen like that, I think is really like childish and juvenile. I just say different ways that, holy fuck, I just say different ways that it could happen, and I won't be surprised any way that it does happen. Nothing can surprise me at this point as an AMC shareholder. You know, people held Bitcoin for 10 years to watch it go from $6 a Bitcoin to $60,000 a Bitcoin. I can hold AMC for 10 years to watch it go from $6 a share to $600 a share or $6,000 a share. The number of shares that I have and the number of contracts that I keep buying and leap contracts that I keep buying every year, I have absolutely no doubts that I could keep this up for a fucking decade if I needed to, and still make thousands of percentage points in gains after the short squeeze occurred. What do I care about 10% profits on the S&P or on the NASDAQ if I can just continue to do what I'm doing and make 1,000%, 2,000%, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000% on my fucking gains in the long term? When I was buying call contracts, guys, when stock price of AMC was at $10 a share in May of 2021, I was buying them for $22 a contract. And in June 3rd, when the stock price hit 78, well, those $22 a contract that was my cost, they were selling for $6,500 per contract. What kind of fucking tens of thousands of percentage point profits is that? I didn't even calculate it. I just remember looking at my account, my jaw dropping. I screamed. My kids came running. They saw my account, and they just went ape shit. They went fucking ape shit. And I couldn't fucking believe it. It was fucking glorious. And I could believe it, but at the time, it was shocking. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see my account. You know, I've got, let's say I've got $30,000 worth of contracts, for example. I wouldn't see that. I wouldn't be surprised to see that go up to, $150 million or something like that, or $250 million in call contracts from the initial, $30,000 buy-in. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I would just be like, ha, told you, and then I'd sell a few, exercise a few, call my brokers. I got three different brokers right now, 4 actually, and call them all one by one. Go online to the ones that allow me to exercise online. And just sell as many as I want, and then exercise some more, lick my ice cream before it melts, take some profits, and watch my shares just make me shitloads and shitloads of money, and have hundreds of thousands of AMC shares at that point. It's too easy to. I could literally be playing Diablo while I'm doing that shit. Like, I'm not fazed by the price action anymore whatsoever. It means nothing to me to watch the price go down or up by 10 or 20 or 30 percentage points. I'm in this for thousands of percentage points. I'm here for billions with a fucking S. Period. God, I love this fucking game. I can't wait to play for my yacht. Well, I mean, I can wait, but it's going to be really fun to be playing for my fucking yacht. Having a LAN party with all my friends on my Starlink internet. Invited a bunch of people over. Ape party on my yacht, guys. Give it a short while. I'll send out the invite to those of you that I know are real people. That should be a lot of fun. Damn, we're gonna be so motherfucking rich. Holy fuck. See the way I just knocked those mobs down? That's how I'm gonna knock the fucking shorts down with my exercising of shares. Fucking piece of shit shorts. Fuck the shorts. Fucking criminals. Selling $57 billion worth of securities. Sold but not yet purchased. Yeah, okay. That's good business right there. Record profits in 2022. Well, let's see what 2023 holds for those pieces of shit. I highly doubt that they're going to be able to sell $57 billion more worth of securities not yet purchased. They're going to as long as the company doesn't go bankrupt, which is what the conversion, reverse split, and dilution does, prevents and allows AMC to pay off their shares, then I'm just going to sit back, sit tight, and enjoy the ride. Live life to its fullest. Build my businesses, spend time with my family, make sure I invest properly, make sure I'm properly hedged in multitudes of ways. Tangible assets, tangible goods, my favorite meme stocks. I got no worries, guys. Hakuna Matata. Act accordingly. No, Reginald, I don't play hardcore. I've got too many kids and businesses and phone calls and distractions to play hardcore. And I also like to do crazy shit like play try to kill monsters that are 25 levels above me with my friends. So I just die way too much to play hardcore. So it's not really in my wheelhouse. Man, when I was single, before I had kids, I should say, yeah, hardcore was a blast. Alex, we're gonna be so fucking rich, he says. I like this guy. This guy knows what the fuck is up. Pantheon, perspective, my man. Great perspective. I love your guys' perspective. Jefferson Steelflex says, at first I thought it kind of sucks to have to wait this long, but the amount of knowledge I've gained over the last 2 years has been very valuable. Yes, my friend, I do agree. All of you guys have noticed, but I've been smoking on this vape. I haven't had a single cigarette in this entire hour and 12-minute stream, which is a bit of a change for me, because I am trying to cut back on smoking cigarettes. Like, I'll always smoke marijuana, cannabis till the day I die. I love it. It's a wonderful medicine. But I've been smoking this Jewel Pod here. Clean nicotine. Let's see how fast we can take this fucking guy out. Even though previously I did smoke American Spirit, so got a lot of the chemicals out. Level 68 seething Hive Master. Hive Master, this is the boss here. He's got about half his health bar left. You guys probably can't see it. Let me just squeeze that down. Oh, well, you can't see it. Whatever. You can see it on his body right there, right above his what's about to be a corpse. Look at the poison. Just chilling. I'm just going to stand here. Let him hit me for a little bit. Oh, that's cute. And he's done. Got another nightmare another sigil, pretty sweet. Some gloves and an axe. Throw some points into exploit. Try to get that glyph up to level 15. Boom, that's 13. I'm pretty happy about that. Pantheon says never change, boss. Never change. My friend, I don't change for anybody. I'm not a quitter either. So quitting smoking cigarettes is a bit of a struggle, because I don't quit at anything. But, I'm cutting back, and that's a start. Mike says gold, silver, ape, and AMC. My man. Energy says, fuck yeah, let's make it happen. That sounds dope. Reginald says, I'm hard into Diablo right now. I'm playing my Starlink in the middle of nowhere at work. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I expect to play in the middle of nowhere as well from my fucking yacht in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. Then we'll take my jet over to the Caribbean. Well, we'll take the yacht, and then we'll take the helicopter down to Colombia or something. Go hang out with some friends. That'll be a good time. Matter of fact, I don't think I even need to dump this stuff here. Let's see if Helltides is going right now. There's no Helltides going, but I do have to go to the Tree of the Dead to turn in these whispers since I'm full, so I'll just go do that now. Just for kicks. You know, Alex, I've invited Bigums to do a few live streams together, but we haven't really been able to link up. And I mean, that's whatever, you know. He's a busy guy. He's got, you know, a family and a job. And, you know, I've got my businesses and my families and everything that's going on with Lit Exchange. So we've just been really busy and haven't been able to link up. It is what it is, my friend. Hopefully in the future we will. Excuse me. I like Bigums. He's a good guy.
It is done.
Damn, I didn't get any legendaries here. But I'll take the collection of leg guards just for kicks. Got a Paragon Point. That's always pretty sweet. I need to upgrade this to level 15. Actually, that's the wrong one there. Yeah, no. I need to upgrade this to level 15, actually. But I'm doing this one right now. And if I get more dexterity here, that'll increase my vulnerable damage by another 2.8% from 15 to 17.8. So I'll probably take that if I find any here. Dex is the hands. There's one here, but it's out of range. Adam Baum asked, is D4 good for the first-time Diablo player? I would say so, man. I would say it's pretty good for the first-time player. Fucking hitting the fucking pod too hard. Smoking it like a cigarette. Whatever. You know what? I'm going to take that out of there. Dump it up here. Take that out of here, put it over here as well. Since I don't technically need that one there yet. And here's the cache, the collection of leg guards. Here's what it gives. Just so you guys know, due to the patch that just came out, everything you get from the Tree of Whispers has been upgraded. There's more gear that comes with doing the Whispers. We got one rare ring, couple legendaries, couple sigils, and I'm not picking up those gems. Fuck those gems. I've got enough of them. Check out this stash here. Got plenty of this shit. Garbage. Just gonna break this all down. Quest gear. Alright. Let's see if Helltides is up yet. Yeah, we've got Helltides up. This is a PvP. Hopefully it's in the PvP zone. That's always fun. You guys can see me get ganked. Or maybe I'll gank somebody. I don't know. But it's not in the PvP zone right now. Oh yeah, it is, but that's not Helltides. Those are just whispers. All Nightmare Dungeons experience has been increased by 80% with the recent patch. The Helltides chests and the Whispers, Tree of Whispers chests have increased amounts of gear and better quality gear. The level of uniques. Alex says they haven't found any uniques level 48. That's surprising, my friend. I've found quite a lot of uniques. I've even found doubles of many. Broke Ape. Yeah, I try to search everything. You know, they do leave power-ups in certain spots. Sometimes you can open up the most random chest or flip a body and just get a unique item, which is always fun. I'll sit down in the fucking chair. Okay. If you're a new player, I recommend you break down all the yellows and oranges that you don't need. But because I've got so much materials already, I only break down the orange items that I don't need and sell the rest
Good
for the
price.
gold, because gold becomes extremely useful to respec and whatnot. At higher levels, and it costs about 8 million gold to respec your whole Paragon board, and 4.5 million gold to respec your character skills. Then, of course, if you want to use it on items, then it's also very expensive. Martin's got his "We're gonna be so fucking rich" Tumblr. Just in case you guys were wondering, I keep getting asked about merch. About 9 months ago, I closed the merch store because it's not really very profitable, and I'm not doing this for profits anyway. I don't care about, you know, making 10% on merch or something like that, having to wait 30 to 45 days to get paid out from it from Shopify and shit like that. I just do it because I know that I love the merch, you know, like the hat and the blanket and the mugs and all that stuff. You know, I got a onesie for my baby even and stuff like that. And I know a lot of other apes are really going to enjoy it, especially after MOAS. I think people are just going to be like, holy shit, this is reality, and I've got, you know, this to remember it by. So I did reopen the merch store. So I think there might be a link in my description or something like that. I know you could find it on my Twitter. I don't advertise it much, but I did put the merch shop back up. Okay, I'm lagging pretty bad over here for some reason. There's a lot going on. So if anybody cares, you can look in the description, and I guess after the stream's over, I'm about to call it a night because I'm lagging really bad all of a sudden for some reason. Yeah, I'm lagging really hard for no reason right now. So I'm going to close Streamlabs. Streamlabs OBS uses up a ton of RAM on top of all the RAM that's being used by the game itself. And out in the open world, it's a lot more evident than in an instance being like a Nightmare Dungeon and so on. But real quick tip for those of you that are noobs, you don't want to grab just the Helltide chests that look like this. Go to helltides.com with an S at the end, helltides.com, and it'll show you the location of the mystery chests. And those require 175 cinders, or whatever you want to call them. These things here. Cinders that drop from the mobs. And you have, you know, the allotted time frame to get as many as you can. Sometimes you can open up 3, maybe if you're really fast 4 of those mystery chests. And they give you much better gear and more XP than the standard chests that are worth 150, 125, or 75 cinders. But they're not showing up on the map, just so you know. They purposely don't show up on the map. Only the ones here, like the weaponry and the protection and so on, show up on your map. You have to go to helltides.com, because then people like you and I go there and vote on the hidden location of the mystery chests and say it's here, the mystery chest on helltides.com. I can just mark it, get my 175 by killing on the way there, and then just click the chest to open it up. And that's about that. Alex says, anyone that gives you flack for having a merch shop can go fuck themselves. I agree, my friend. I don't care about fucking people's opinions of me. I don't care if people like me or not. I just am who I am, you know, unapologetically. So it really was just about the hassle of having to deal with a merch shop. It is work, and I'm really busy as it is. So I just decided that I didn't want to have to deal with it. But after all this time, I figured people keep asking me for it. I ran a poll. Over 1,000 people replied to the poll on Twitter, and 51% of the people said that they wanted the merch shop back, and 49% of people said that they didn't want merch. So, you know, the majority won there, and that was like about 4 months ago that I put that Twitter poll out. But because 51% voted yes, I said I would abide by the poll, and people wanted it, so it's back. I'm putting new gear on there if you guys want to check it out. You know, we got the We're Gonna Be So Fucking Rich hats, mugs, all that stuff. We got some badass apes. Like, I think the ape that I used for this stream, I got it on some, you know, beer mugs, coffee mugs, and things like that, and on some shirts. And I think it looks really good, you know. Anyways, if you guys are new to the stream, if you feel like subscribing, go ahead. You know, you guys can learn a lot here about financial markets, AMC stock, silver, gold. And if you don't want to, that's no problem at all. You know, no sweat. Broke Ape says, we shall be vindicated by close of court tomorrow. The judge isn't having the bobblehead statements. We're going to be so fucking rich. My friend, I like what you got to say. I appreciate you. All of you guys, thanks for all your support. I've seen your comments in the chat. Real quick, Adam Frank says, I'm interested in beginning creating content on YouTube and Rumble. Any recommendations on hardware you find to be reliable or required? You need a good microphone. I've got a Blue Yeti here. It's a good, cheaper microphone. It's around $200. And then my webcam is cheap shit. It was like 60, 70 bucks. You should probably get a better webcam than I got. But honestly, I'll upgrade in the near future. Like, I didn't really care too much about it at the time. I guess I've just been putting it off because I don't really care that much about my stream. It can only come through at 720p. Like, even though I'm recording in 1080p, because it's a live stream, the streams only show up as 720p. So there's nothing I can do about that. So, you know, just give yourself a good setup. Make sure your computer's got plenty of RAM, and just get started. Don't put it off. Like, some people want everything to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just start making content, and you can refine it as you go along. There's no need for every single thing to be perfectly polished, perfectly edited, or perfectly done. Just start making content and keep putting it out there. And consistency is key. And I'm not even consistent, as you guys know. Like, I made a video 8 days ago. This is my first video in a week, in like 8 days, literally, because I'm not doing YouTube or Rumble or Twitter for the money. I just do it to try to share information with retail investors so that you can help yourselves and so on. So really, I don't care about the ad revenue and so on. And that's why I always tell you guys, yeah, please don't super chat me, because even though it's appreciated, it's not required. I don't live off this. I've got businesses and family and work and stuff like that I have to that pays my bills. And AMC stock and Ape stock, I have absolutely no worries in that regard. So just get started, Adam. You know, don't put it off, my friend. Have fun with it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me. It's been an absolute blast. I wish you all peace and fucking wealth. I'm going to finish it off with a quick song. Get out of here if you don't want to hear some vulgarities. But again, this is an adult channel. Make sure you're properly hedged. Act accordingly. For fuck's sake. Act accordingly. Don't believe the bull market bullshit, because it's not a bull market. It's a bull run in a bear market. Period. Get the fucking money printer out, J. Powell. Old Yeller. I ain't selling till they fire Janet fucking Yellen. I'll tell you that much. Or I've got billions with an S. We'll see which one happens first. Wish you peace and wealth, my friends. Make sure you're hedged and act accordingly. Peace out. Have a great night.
Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, let's go.
Fucking rich. I want my fucking money. Griffin, I want my fucking money.
Thanks, Alex, Darren, Adam, Martin, Jefferson, Hillsy, Silverback, Cash Money, everybody in the think tank, on YouTube, on Twitter. Thank you guys for your support on Rumble, TikTok. Appreciate all you guys and girls.
Shit, we're gonna be so fucking rich.
Pantheon, thank you, my friend. I'm going to be sending you something in the mail.
Damn it, we're gonna be so fucking rich. Griffin, I want my fucking money.
You're an original,
Hey,
aren't you?
Yellen, give me the fucking money.